On this episode of Behind the Shed, we look at what happens when the viewer sales stop and things get real. Stay tuned.
Onefootflipper.
Alright, today I have with me Fred the Flashing Flipper, in his first interview ever since his downfall a few years ago. Hey, thanks for having me on, Paige. So, my reselling journey started August of 2019. Now, back then I was working at 7-Eleven, mostly sleeping in my car, and I went behind the building after the end of one of my shifts for, you know, some extracurricular activities, if you catch my meaning. You see, this 7-Eleven also shared the alley with this strip mall. I was wandering around back there because nobody had showed up for anything, and I found an entire dumpster full of Funko Pops and boxes, unopened cases of the things stacked next to the dumpster. I don't know what happened. I'm assuming that whoever was renting that place out got evicted suddenly and the landlord just put all that out. I don't know what happened, but I was shocked. So I loaded them up, called my mom. My mom let me back into the trailer. We took probably 10 loads with my Ford Escort and her Mercury station wagon to finally get them back to her trailer. And I knew that these things had to be worth a mint on eBay. But the thing is, I had no idea how to sell on eBay. So I looked it up on YouTube. I found this guy called Horny Tomato, and with that I started selling October 2019. Then I started my YouTube channel the very next month. I was posting a few videos here and there, sold a few pops every day. Everything was going pretty smooth for a couple of months. Then something changed, didn't it? Yep. Then the pandemic hit. Suddenly the 7-Eleven had closed down. They just had pay at the pump. They laid everybody off except for the manager. Now, that sounds pretty bad, right? But they're actually paying me more money in unemployment than I had ever made in my life. I don't really understand how that worked, but what happened to a lot of my other friends too. Apparently they were getting their full salary plus $400 or $500 a week. And I'd never had that much money in my life. And I plowed all of it into eBay. Over the next few months, both my sales and my YouTube subscribers, they just went off the charts. I didn't even have to price check things anymore. Those Funko Pops, I could just list them. As long as I was somewhere close to market value, then someone would buy them. Either somebody else who had more money than they know what to do with at the time, or maybe just a viewer. Well, that sounds pretty good. Oh, it was pretty good, and it got better and better. Before I knew it, I had over 30,000 subscribers on YouTube and 500,000 on TikTok. And I didn't even have to go out and look for anything to sell anymore. People were sending me things for free. And I still, to this day, have no idea why they would do that. And when they weren't sending me things for free, they were cluing me into incredible deals. Pretty soon, I had Gaylords coming into my house on a daily basis. Gaylords? Can you explain to the viewers who might not know what you're talking about? You know, short pallets of merchandise. And things just keep getting better. I soon had enough money to buy a small shed to work out of. Before you know it, I wasn't even doing any of the work anymore. I was paying my cousin Tony to do all of it. And all I was doing YouTube videos and going to reseller events. I don't mean to brag, but I soon had enough money to buy a used Subaru. I had arrived. Even the ladies had started to take notice of me. I had 3 dates in 6 months. And then 6 months later, Taco Bell sponsored me for a huge second shed. Now my mom's trailer had this little shed out back and this huge shed taking up the entire driveway. It said Taco Bell, Gordita, Gordita Crunch on the side of it. I was on top of the world. It couldn't have gotten any better. Now, what I'd like to know is, are the rumors true about the excesses at the top of the YouTube reselling world? Secret swinger parties, drug-fueled bidding frenzies on sealed Nintendo games, stealing from old ladies, that sort of thing. I didn't really see all that many hard drugs in my reselling days. Although when they did show up, it would be like the Puxatawny flipper would just start snorting lines right off a graded copy of a Barbarella on VHS in the middle of a Red Lobster, and nobody would say anything. However, the sex thing, way bigger than you ever imagined. You know, you probably watch some of the people now, they make little jokes about it in videos and wear pineapple hats. But oh, it was way more extreme than that. Now, I never really had a huge libido, so I would mostly just watch when that stuff went down, but it definitely went down. I'm betting it didn't last forever, though, did it? No, it didn't last forever. By spring of 2022, I had over 100,000 subscribers. I was on top of the world, and then it all came crashing down. Was this the Buc-ee's incident? Yes, saddens me to say this, but in March of 2022, I was arrested for shoplifting in a St. Augustine, Florida Buc-ee's. Now, it was just a drunken misunderstanding. However, my lawyer suggested that I just plead guilty, take the tiny punishment, you know, time served and a fine, and move on. Otherwise, he didn't want the trial ending up on the news or this going anywhere to possibly hurt my reselling career. But what I didn't realize at the time, that my reselling career was screwed one way or another. Somebody had taken cell phone footage of the arrest. The video didn't surface for a few months, but apparently I said a few things on the video that I shouldn't have said, and those are things which I deeply regret today. I was under the influence, and they do not represent my views at all. To tell you the truth, I've honestly never seen someone express so much hatred of little people or the French before in my entire life, specifically in a situation where neither one of them seemed to be present. In that video, you dropped 11 M-bombs before knocking over a display and then going to an extended rant on how the French control all reselling. And then when that hit YouTube, everything else hit the fan as well. I had been arrested a few times in the past before. It was small things, and now those arrests have become public knowledge. And that's when the allegations started rolling in. My notes here show an arrest for mopery in 2007 and one for operating a bingo hall while under the influence in 2014, both of which were in North Carolina. Yes, both those are correct. They weren't exactly shining times in my life, and they were years in the past. And then soon after, you were facing literally dozens of allegations, sourcing stolen Nikes from street gangs, selling mystery boxes worth of junk to your channel members, money laundering involving Beanie Babies, buying subscribers from overseas websites, VHS tape grading fraud, not issuing 1099s to the foreign nationals who were doing your sourcing, paying your cousin Tony under the table, and allegations of inappropriate sexual conduct from several different women and 2 men, as well as a laundry list of smaller sins. I don't want to talk about any individual issues, as some of them are still pending, and even discussing the more ridiculous ones lends them legitimacy that I don't want to give them. However, what I will say is that all of the allegations of sexual misconduct were false and ended up being dropped for a total lack of evidence. Most of the people alleging things happened alleged that they happened at various reseller events that I was never even an attendee at in the first place. So what happened to your businesses then? Well, with YouTube, I actually very briefly got a huge spike in subscribers and views. I gained 10,000 subs in 1 week, but that quickly petered out. My paying channel members all left, and soon after, my views were in the toilet. And anytime I posted a new video, there would be immediately multiple response videos telling everybody what a terrible person I was. Eventually, I just stopped making videos altogether. Strangely enough, though, I still to this day keep gaining subscribers. I'm up to 150,000 subs now. However, I only make about $80 a month from YouTube now. It's just all from old videos. And all of that money goes to pay a judgment in one of the lawsuits against me. I can't mention which one it is. Well, and what about eBay? Somehow they never shut my account down. However, I had to shut it down myself for 6 months because I just had this continual stream of hate buyers. Purchasing things, breaking them, and returning them. I reopened the store eventually with a different store name. However, the sales today are only 10% of what they were before. Now I actually have to source good items. I have to sell them at good prices. I can't just buy anything I want to, guess a price, and be sure it would sell to a viewer. Taco Bell took the big shed back about a month after it all went down. That shed was still full of inventory when they hauled it off. I'm telling you what, that's going to be a pending legal matter as soon as I can save up enough money to actually get a lawyer on retainer. And before you knew it, Mom kicked me out of the trailer. Subaru got repossessed. So since then, I've been living in the small shed behind her trailer. I managed to buy a 1997 Saturn with my tax refund. So at least I'm not trying to source on my bike anymore. Sourcing is still pretty hard though, so I've been banned from all the local Goodwills, thrift stores, even the Goodwill outlet. So where did all the money go? That's the question I wish I knew the answer to. I spent a lot of it on travel and high living. I would roll into the Buc-ee's with my mom and my cousins. I'd slap a $100 bill down on the counter and say, "Give me these beaver nuggets plus whatever else they get. Keep the change." I was buying things from other YouTubers on Whatnots for no reason. At one point, I kept buying positions in sports card box breaks on Whatnot, and I don't even like sports. I definitely didn't have my taxes straight, and when the money stopped flowing in, I was broke immediately. Hope this can be a cautionary tale to all you out there who are flying a little bit close to the sun. Thanks for having me on your channel, Paige. All right, everybody, that's the real truth from the flashing flipper. Cautionary tale, don't let this happen to you. Thanks, and I hope to see you again soon.